say I do to Wedding Secrets online radio show.
Hi there, and welcome back to Wedding Secrets online radio show. I'm Jackie Nakwacha, founder of White Petals Pearls, and earlier on this week I caught up with Kerrie Harman from Highgate Florists Growers, a family-run business that's been trading for over 30 years. Highgate Florists Growers are based in the beautiful countryside village of Rotherfield, which is situated about 15 minutes from Royal Tunbridge Wells. Kerrie specialises in vintage and country flowers for weddings. Let's hear what she had to say.
Tell me about your vintage flowers then. I know I do an awful lot of wedding shows up and down the country, and the vintage theme still seems to be very, very popular, and I can't see it going away ever.
No, we definitely do a lot of vintagey styled weddings. I mean, our homegrown flowers, I think, really attracts people, looking for that vintage country styled theme. And obviously they love the fact that they're grown naturally and all the wildness of them.
Can people actually hire vases, or do you do like candlestick turns?
Yes,
or?
we do. We've got a range of items we hire out. We've got candelabras, we have bird cages, we do different types of jugs, country things that I pick up from perhaps antique fairs and local shows that I think, that looks nice, I'll keep that for my collection, and I'd hire all that kind of thing out.
Oh, brilliant. Do you find that a lot of brides tend to, I know myself, I actually use the Wedding Flowers, magazine that comes out each month, just to sort of get some ideas and colours and actual names of flowers as well. Do you find a lot of brides tend to use those, or are they sort of looking for you to help them out and guide them?
Most brides usually bring us a mood board or something that they've put together of colour schemes they like, or particular arrangements they've seen that they like. A lot of them bring iPads in. They've got lots of photos on there for me to have a look at, which is great. It obviously gives me an idea, what they're thinking of.
Do you find magazines, they've actually got different flowers, have different meanings? Do you find people tend to go down that route as well?
I don't actually. No, I haven't really had anyone come in and say, this flower means, love, or this flower means purity, I'd like to use this in my bouquet.
Yeah.
We do have a few, like the bride I'm doing for this weekend would like a little bit of myrtle in her bouquet. Or if perhaps a loved one's passed away, like a mother or grandmother, and if they've had a favourite flower in their time, they'd perhaps like to incorporate one of them into the bouquet, so it's just, like a remembrance of their family member.
Yeah, that's a nice idea, isn't it? So do you have lots of sort of ribbons and pearls and cameos and all those sort of bits that go with it, or do you find it sort of more rustic sort of flowers that you would do?
It is, yeah, but we do, obviously the final detail is really important as well. We've got a lot of, we use a lot of lace, different laces for bouquets. That seems to be really popular at the moment. Also we've got different types of raffia if someone wants just a natural tied, straw-like effect. And we do have some more, like pearls, and like again going back to the losing a loved one, some people bring in brooches or something, to incorporate into the bouquet, which is quite nice.
Oh, that's nice, absolutely. It's always nice to feel as if you've got that special person with you, isn't it, on your day? Huh? So when you're saying about your eco-friendly flowers, can you just explain a little bit more as to what that means to our listeners?
Yeah, I mean, we grow our flowers in Rotherfield, which is literally a couple of minutes down from our shop. We've got 9 acres, and all our flowers are grown outside in nature, so we don't rely on any heating, so we're not using any energy that way. And also there's no transportation of the flowers to us. Also the travelling miles are cut right down.
True. Does your dad have to use pesticides? And I know I get loads of slugs and all sorts of bits in my garden when I'm trying to grow different flowers. Does he have to resort to anything like that, or does he just sort of let nature take its course and hopefully the flowers will be?
Yeah, we do let nature take its course. We don't use anything on our produce. Veg as well. He spent a lot of money on different types of netting and a lot of matting.
Yes.
And unfortunately there's a lot of man hours down there, hoeing the weeds away. So yeah, it's all done by hand, and nothing's used on the produce or the flowers.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Well, we haven't even mentioned your dad's name, have we? Your dad's name is David, isn't it? David Harman, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. And as it says in your write-up in the Sussex Wedding magazine, he's very passionate about growing his produce, and he likes to grow top quality flowers. Absolutely. Well, I should think when you've been doing it for as long as he has, he certainly knows a thing or two to actually get the best out of the flowers that he's actually growing. Reading an article the other day, which is something that I'd never actually even thought about, is you know how brides put different flowers on the actual tops of cakes? As I say, this piece actually mentioned that obviously some flowers or the actual stems or leaves can be poisonous.
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously, something I'd never even thought about. But I suppose, do people ask you cake tops and things like that? Would you need to know about that sort of thing?
They do, yeah. We have done cake toppers. Not as much, I don't think, as perhaps some people would think. Because obviously, a lot of the cake makers now can do some absolutely fantastic things with their skills. But yeah, if someone definitely does want fresh flowers and they insist, we have to be very careful of what flowers we do use, the containers we use on them. So obviously we won't want any stem or anything to touch any part of the cake.
Yeah, because in this article it was actually saying, some of the fragrances of some of these flowers, they look beautiful, but often they can actually change the flavour of the icing if they're actually laid onto the cake itself. And obviously again, from a poisonous sort of point of view, they may look lovely, but that could actually get into the icing there. So, as I say, sometimes you're looking for the pretty, finishing touches, aren't you? And then you don't think of the consequences.
No, and it's very difficult with cakes as well, because flowers also can be quite heavy, and there's a lot of designs that you see in these magazines and that they come all trailing down the cake and look lovely, but obviously that's all for the picture, and if you were to move that, would try and recreate, that's very hard.
And I know going to some of the wedding fairs that I've been to, a lot of these cakes are at polystyrene, and then they've actually got just a thin layer of icing, so they can sort of put any amount of flowers or whatever on the top without having to worry about it.
Yeah, definitely. They do poke it in as well, to the polystyrene. And I've seen that done in between the layers of cake before.
Have you?
You do have to be very careful with fresh flowers, especially ones that have been sprayed, or they've got pollen or sap that perhaps will come out their stems.
I actually love fresh flowers. I think they make up such a big part of a wedding day. And with obviously cost sort of storing, people tend to say a wedding takes about 650 hours to put together. Basic weddings sort of costs 15 to 20 to goodness knows how many thousands of pounds to put together these days. I mean, do you find lots of brides, I know as we've gone back to these wedding flower magazines, people are actually, trying to set up workshops. Is this something that you are looking to hold?
Yeah, definitely. We've had some interest from brides already wanting to, do their own wedding flowers, or family members would like to obviously take part in the wedding day somehow, and obviously doing table decorations or venue decorations is a great way of, involving family members, but also they just need a bit of guidance sometimes. They're not too sure what to use, so I invite them over, show them all my, different props and the vases, etc., that they can hire.
Yes.
Yeah, we can take them down the nursery and show them how to arrange different table decorations and what's best to use.
Brilliant. I think that's a fabulous idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think as well, just sort of having the time, like you say, to get people involved and sort of actually pick their own fresh flowers. I mean, that'd be absolutely fabulous to sort of put that together, and it's quite an achievement once you've actually finished it to see what you can put together yourself, huh?
Yeah, definitely. It's just, really going back to basics on things, and people forget little things like, lots of lovely foliage can look just as nice in a big milk churn or something, or some lovely big cow parsley, stuff that doesn't have to cost a fortune but can equally look as stunning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you find a lot of people are still having flowers in the actual church? Do you find, or they're doing more outside weddings, outside venues, hotels, or?
Yeah, we do a lot of hotel weddings. We do a few country homes that do weddings at houses as well, which seem to be very popular. Church weddings as such, we don't do a lot of church decoration, because we find a lot of people that do have flowers in the church, either church ladies like to do them, or they don't want to spend a fortune on the arrangements because they're not going to be in there for very long.
Absolutely, yeah, they'd rather actually have them in where they're going to be at the reception.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you allow your brides to visit your fields to see the flowers, or do you use some sort of portfolio to help them decide on the colours and the flowers they want to use for the wedding day?
But I always offer the bride to see the flowers, either if it's down the nursery and it's the right time of year. So obviously, like I say, all our flowers are grown outside, and we rely on the weather a lot. So that is certain times of the year it's available, but other times it's not. But I certainly do have a lot of pictures of the nursery and what we grow and different arrangements together. Yeah, so it's always, definitely good for the bride to try and see if they can what flowers we're going to be using for their wedding, so they know exactly what to expect on the day.
Brilliant. Do you have just a certain area that you would go to?
Not really. We do free delivery within, say, the Sussex area.
Yes.
With obviously, if someone has the whole package, like the reception, the bridal party, we usually try and do that for free. But obviously, further afield, we would have to charge a bit of mileage because obviously I'm taking other people with me.
So, do you actually tend to put packages together then? So, would you have like the bride's bouquet and the buttonhole, and then the sort of bridesmaids or flower girls? I mean, do you use fresh flowers as petals, for flower girls?
We do, yes. We actually find it's a bit more of a cost-effective way than freeze-dry because a lot of venues won't allow anything that's not biodegradable. So we actually say use fresh petals. You can use exactly the same roses or, for instance, what's used in the rest of the bridal party and get the right colour. And but package-wise, we don't offer a package as such because we usually take every bride as their individual requirements. And once I've had the initial meeting with them, then I'll go away, put a quotation together, and that will just show them all the breakdown of the costs of the flowers, all different bouquets, buttonholes, etc., what type of flowers and foliage I'm going to be using in the bouquets and arrangements, and then it will include the VAT, and if we did have to charge delivery, that would be on there, so they've got all the prices that they will end up paying on the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what everybody wants these days, isn't it? You don't want any hidden costs in there. No, that's horrible, isn't it? You sort of think, that's exactly what I want, and then it's like an extra goodness knows how many pounds on top for this, that and the other.
Yeah, because a lot of people forget there is VAT charged on flowers. I do know of some companies that charge VAT on top of what they've quoted for.
So that's good,
and at 20%, it does come up at quite a lot if you're spending a few £100 on, something that's VAT-B.
Yeah. Do you find people who still want flowers as such? Is that a big part of the actual wedding? For me, it would be. I think fresh flowers are just a must-have. Yeah, a must-have. I wouldn't cut back on that. But I suppose with the workshops that you would do, you might be able to sort of cut back on some of the pricing there, mightn't you?
Yeah, this year I've got a few smaller weddings on my books that, brides that just want a really relaxed day. They're having barbecues. One lady's having a barbecue in her parents' garden.
Yes.
But she's definitely still very keen on having her decoration there, which she wants to bring through with bunting and her flowers. And we're just doing jam jars of flowers tied with raffia, some tied with lace, a few different containers of jugs, some galvanised buckets and things, just full of country-style flowers.
Brilliant. I bet that'll look absolutely fabulous. If you have a look on my Pinterest, digressing slightly, I love jam jars. I've got quite a few that I've sort of got on my Pinterest of different designs, like you've just said with raffia. Just really simple styles, but I think they can look so effective. Yeah,
they're definitely very popular this year, jam jars.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you find as well sometimes, I know with my Pinterest I've actually found a lot of sort of candelabras as well for outside that are sort of covered with sort of vintagey country style flowers. Is that something you guys would do as well?
Yeah, we can use all the outside candelabras and lanterns we use, little tea lights we have. And if we haven't got a certain, something that in stock, we can always source it and use it.
Okay.
We also meet brides at venues. For example, if we haven't perhaps used a venue before, it's quite relaxing to know that, we've seen where we're going to put everything, and it makes the bride feel more comfortable knowing that we've gone through it together. Mm-hmm. And not only that, perhaps I might see something which the bride might not. So I might think you might need something in that corner, for example, just to lift colour there.
Yeah.
Well, Kerrie, I'm afraid I'm going to have to stop you there. That's all we've got time for. Big thanks to you for joining us on Wedding Secrets online radio show, and to our listeners too. We've hoped you picked up some useful tips and ideas for your big day. Tune in to Wedding Secrets again, where we will be joined by more wedding professionals who will be sharing their knowledge and expertise with us. If you'd like some more information on vintage and country flowers, you can visit Kerrie's website on www.highgateflorists.co.uk, or if you'd like some more information on dove reliefs packages, wedding favours, or books on weddings or poetry about love and joy, visit my website at www.whitepetalsandpearls.com. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Until the next time.
There's always something exciting to learn when you listen to Wedding Secrets online radio show.
scribes were writing onto the papyrus, and they were writing onto the scrolls thereof, and making documentation that could be read by the masses. Yeah. Oh, howdy friends, Preacher here. Hey, I was just reading about publishing in the olden times. Well friends, you know, traditional publishing today is really on its last leg. We all know this. You know, it's almost impossible to get a regular publishing house to take on a contract for a new writer because it's so expensive and they're taking a heck of a risk. You know, you could go the way of vanity printing, and if you were to do that, that is really expensive, and most people can't do that. But there is a solution. The third option is Mithra Publishing. Now, these guys can publish your book for you, and they take the mystery, if you will, out of the publishing process. Oh, it is a wonderful idea. You know, it allows the collaboration of books in which there are a variety of authors, and each author is responsible for only one chapter. They spread the expenses out that way, and it makes it easy for you to become a published author. Think about it today, friends. Go to mithrapublishing.com and they'll show you how it's done. Friends, we want you to be a published author. It's not that hard, and we know that you will be very blessed when you do. We love you so much, friends, and care about you. Amen.